Ha ha ha! Mine is an evil laugh.
Sam, it's Liz. Welcome back to my channel. For the month of October, I decided for funsies to do Vlogoween. So I will be posting a video every day for the month of October. At least that's the goal. I'll be talking about various topics, doing some maybe fun activities. If you have any, I've done some brainstorming, so I kind of have an idea what I want to do. But if you have any ideas of what you'd like to see, if there's topics you want me to talk about, or an activity you want me to do that you think would be fun or whatever, definitely let me know in the comments below. So for this particular video, we're going to be talking about psychics, going through the different types of psychics. Now, I don't want to go into debunking myths and things like that right now, because I actually want to do that in part 2 of this video, to discuss the myths around psychics. But I will say, before we get started, that not all psychics are the same. Not all of us, are all-knowing or can see the future or anything like that. That is a type of psychic, and I will get to that, but we are not all the same. So let's get started. I have notes. So first and foremost, what is a psychic? It's someone who has extra sensory perception, so ESP. So really what that means is sort of a sixth sense, if you will. In my opinion, everyone has a sixth sense to some degree, whether it's just strong intuition or something a little more like what I'm going to be getting into in this video. But I kind of believe that everyone has a sixth sense to some degree. So we'll go on to some of the different psychic abilities. So one of the main ones that kind of, when you hear the word psychic, this is usually the type of ability that you think of. And so it is claircognizance, means just knowing, right? Just knowing. So you might, again, sort of something along the lines of intuition, where you just know something about somebody, or you just know the way something is going to go, or something along those lines. So just knowing. The next one is clairvoyant. So this term really, I forget if it's in Greek or Latin or what, but basically it means clear vision. So that's really more in that third eye area. So this is where you will get, well, visions, for one thing, that can kind of play like you'll either get like a snapshot image, or plays like a movie, or you get them in your dreams sometimes, or sometimes you'll see like symbols and things like that, or you'll see like numbers, but you'll see that in your mind's eye. Next is clairaudient, and that really stands for clear hearing. So that's when, for me anyways, clear hearing, because I'm clairaudient, and so I hear in my head, though. This is where some people, myself included, have felt like they are crazy, because, you hear voices and you automatically assume, okay, well, I'm crazy. But that's not necessarily the case. So you'll get, at least for myself anyways, I can talk about my experience, and when I hear, it's not audible, like outside of me. Like how you're hearing me right now, that's audible. You can hear me outside of your head. Where if you have clairaudience, you're hearing inside your head. So you'll hear either a voice that may not even be yours, right? So if you're picking it from like a spirit or something, or an angel, you might hear a voice that is not your voice. But you might also get information that sounds like your voice, like it's coming through as your voice, like a thought, but it's not necessarily you, right? It's either a spirit guide or an angel or something else that's able to speak through you. So, for example, let's say with say a spirit guide. Okay, so if I'm talking to a client and their spirit guide is trying to get a message across, I will hear what they are trying to, what they've been trying to tell my client, but that my client just it doesn't have the ability or to hear, or they just haven't understood what they were hearing. So I will hear it through. I will hear their spirit guide in my head. Next is, again, another one that when you think psychic, chances are this is what you're thinking of, and it's precognition. So this is being able to see future events. It kind of goes along with just knowing, but it's also, it can be kind of a mix of just knowing and being clairvoyant, so you will see that future event in your mind's eye, usually. So it could be, again, it might be a dream, or just a flash image, or like a movie playing in your head, but but you will see this future event. Next is actually the opposite, well, not the opposite, but it goes in reverse. So we have retrocognition, which is being able to see past events. So either a spirit, or there's also psychometry. So when you touch an object, you can see past events through that object. So what that, so say you have a key, right? You might see somebody unlocking a door, right, in the past. Somebody who unlocked the door. You may, and depending on the energy, if the energy is amplified enough, when that person was still holding that key, you might see them entering the room or something like that. But again, with retrocognition, it's very similar to precognition, which is where you're generally going to either just know what happened back then, or you'll get, again, an image or a movie-like type of thing going on in your mind's eye. And the last one on my list, there are many, many, many psychic abilities, and some are combined. Like you may have just one very, very strong psychic ability, and then there are some who have many. With me, my strongest psychic ability is mediumship, which stands for spirit communication. So I communicate with the other side and angels. So I communicate with spirits, I communicate with a person's spirit guides, which I can get into more if you need to know more about what a spirit guide is. I can do that in another video, let me know in the comments. And angels. I also, I can also sort of communicate with demons, but that's not something I want. So, I will clear if I've been in communication with demons, but it's not something where I seek that out. So if someone comes to me and they say, hey, I think there's something in my house, I will go to their house, figure out what the problem is, and if it is demonic, then I will do what I can to clear it out. But it's not something where I'm using like Ouija boards or spells or anything like that to communicate with demons. Just because I can doesn't mean I want to. And so, how I communicate with spirit is mainly clairvoyance and clairaudience. So that's being able to see visions using that third eye, and clairaudient, which is being able to hear. That's my main one, though. I would say it's probably hearing. And any pre or retrocognance that I do get is given to me through spirit or angel. I don't really see myself as that kind of psychic, right? I don't get future events on my own, right? I don't get prophetic type of dreams or anything like that. It's usually an angel or spirit guide, or a spirit if I'm making communication with spirit, and they are telling me what happened in the past or what may happen in the future. I also have the side abilities of I'm gonna butcher this, but I'll let you know what it means. Claroflactance, which is really like a psychic smell, and clairgustance, which is a psychic form of taste. So with those kind of senses, I'm not actually, like, there's not an actual smell in the room. It's like being clairaudient, where you're not hearing it audibly outside of you. It's inside. So I will either get the smell of a spirit's perfume that they're trying to communicate, or I might get the taste of blood, even though there's no blood in my mouth. So it's like that, and it's usually a spirit trying to communicate something important. Either, this is what I tasted when I died, or this is what I used to smell like. Because, and something I forgot to mention earlier, with clairaudient, for me personally, it's like tuning a radio. That's what it sounds like, kind of in my head. It's like tuning a radio. So sometimes it'll come through super clear and immediate, and sometimes it's sort of, I don't know, crackly, or just, it's like, if you've ever seen or heard, like if you ever watched a paranormal show or heard an EVP, then you'll know that sometimes, it's really rare for a voice to come through like crystal clear, like what they would classify as Class A. Usually they come through where it's either like a whisper, or it's just not very clear, right? You're not always 100% what's being said. And it's like that in my head. I don't always 100% understand what they're trying to communicate, if they're trying to speak to me versus trying to show me something. And so that's when I will use oracle cards to try and clear things up a little bit. I will also mention, before we wrap up here, because this video is getting long, that if you're interested in some of my past stories, or anything along the lines of the paranormal, I did write a book. It's called Paranormal 101, a book for the haunted, and I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out. It is on Amazon in ebook and paperback, if you want to check that out. So I think that'll be it for today. Like I said, I want to do a part 2 where we're kind of going through the myths of psychics. So for now, I will say thank you for watching, and I hope I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.